Hi everyone, it's Sam, NFTstatistics, and this is your Proof Daily NFT Countdown. Coming at you from Brooklyn. I'm at my aunt's house. I've been staying at my aunt's house since 2006 when I came on business trips to New York, and it's 2023, and I'm here on a JPEG trip to New York, and we're staying at my aunt's tonight. It's great to be back doing this show. NFT NYC was awesome. Just so cool to meet Matt Hall yesterday, the founder of CryptoPunks. We all stand on that guy's shoulders. We all stand on his shoulders, and it was great to meet him. One of the coolest things, though, is that he says he actually watches this show. He says this is where he gets his information on NFTs. So, Matt, appreciate all you've done for the space. Great meeting you yesterday. But let's talk about NFTs. We're going to talk about Reddit. We're going to talk about Goblins doing some crazy stuff. We're going to talk about some art sales. Let's do a quick market overview. Past 2 days, since we took yesterday off, volumes have been up a little bit. Now, I think it's important, though, to look at volumes without Wrap CryptoPunks. Because Wrap CryptoPunks are all the volume, not all the volume, but they're the top set on Blur very consistently. It feels like the people who are trading that collection want to make Wrap CryptoPunks the highest volume collection because that's what gets them the most Blur points. So that's just doing a ton of volume. If you look at volumes here, though, without Wrap CryptoPunks, you can see that, we're pretty much back to where we were before Blur Season 2, pretty much very squarely kind of in that range. Now, you can say, well, Wrap CryptoPunks matter too, don't they? And I think they do, but they don't. Now, I looked at the last 50 Wrap CryptoPunks that did trades. Okay, the last 50. And you can see their ID numbers at the bottom. And this is the total number of trades that each of those punks has done just in April. We're not even 2 weeks into this month. And just in April, most of these punks have already traded more than 15 times. That's more than once per day. So this really is just a collection that a bunch of Blur airdrop farmers are passing back and forth to each other over and over and over again, getting each other points, keeping that collection high on the Blur list, which gets them more points, gets everyone less. A bit of a controversial topic, but I think that's happening right now and it's important to see. In terms of market share, Blur market share is about 79-80%, very much in control. Large cap index broadly flat since I spoke to you last on Monday. In US dollar terms, if you look at this in ETH terms, you can see we're really at 1 year lows and lower. If you look in US dollar terms, it's a bit more optimistic. Still, we want to be keeping up with ETH. We don't want to be losing value in ETH terms, but still in US dollar terms, prices are doing a little bit better. What was strong? Captains had a massive couple days, up 18%, and Azuki was weak, down 7%. Let's talk quickly about both of them. First, Captains, check out this chart, going up above 7 ETH. This project's completely on fire. But, I asked Twitter, as I often do, I want to get you guys answers. What is causing this rally? And here, a raving ape said that a farmer who was farming Blur took their whole wall of supply out and staked those captains. And therefore, you just saw a real rally. He had a wall of 70th, and that got taken down. Azuki, a little bit weak. Azuki's a project I like to follow because the floor has really held up through all of the Blur farming period. It's down a touch, but not that much. So this is a collection where there's some really loyal holders, but we did see it yesterday go from 15 ETH to, mid 13s when you look at where trades are happening on Blur. Again, I found this new Twitter account called @Blur_dumping, and I'd recommend checking it out because I think that, as I talk about, if you care about day-to-day prices of NFTs, you just have to follow where the airdrop farming is happening and where the dumps are happening. And if you look at Azuki down 7%, well, someone dumped 49 Azukis yesterday. Okay, and then when someone dumps 49, it doesn't go to a long-term holder. It goes to another airdrop farmer, and you get this chain reaction of people dumping NFTs. So then a couple hours later, someone dumped 21. Every now and then a long-term holder picks them up, but that's quite rare. So we saw a little bit of that in Azuki. Still kind of in that Azuki range, but thought that was interesting. Check out that Twitter account. Oddities, part of Moonbirds, up a small bit. You can see this chart still kind of down year to date in a pretty serious way, but a little bit of an uptick because Moonbirds announced that mythics are coming. The mythic egg claim starts April 17th. I work at Proof. We'll talk about this a little bit more in detail, all the details of this drop, but it was interesting to see that the team announced that that's coming shortly. Mid-cap index, basically flat, down a touch over the past 2 days. Some strength in cyber brokers, weakness in Rumble Kongs, Invisible Friends. In terms of returns on flips, you guys know I like this chart. I like to look at are traders making money or not. Basically flat. It hasn't really been a very active week in terms of people realizing profits or losses. Now, one thing to realize is that when prices go down, when floor prices go down, you're not going to see as much trading activity a lot of the time. The reason, and this chart, I love this chart. It basically just says, when you look at the sales of NFTs, the people who are up had only held for 2 days. The people who were down had held for 18 days. That's the median. So people are much more likely to sell when they're up than when they're down. So floor prices go down, maybe you don't get the realized losses like you do get the realized gains when prices go up. In terms of our projects, 4 projects did 10 ETH of volume or more. A lot of these look like people accepting ETH bids below the floor. Let's look into it. First, you had a Fidenza sale, 56 ETH. It really feels like this 50 to 60 range, high 50s is kind of where we're seeing transactions occur for Fidenzas. This is about 4 or 5 that we've seen in that range. A Gazer at 17.5 ETH, a pretty nice sale for Gazers based on current prices. A lot of the volume's been in the 15 range recently. This squiggle here has a color spread of 7. Lower color spread on squiggles is always better. Really kind of dynamic squiggle here, but that sold for 11 ETH. Pretty low price for a color spread of 7. And then a Meridian here for 6.5 ETH. Seeing a couple Meridians trade below floor, just people accepting ETH bids where they can get them. Second thing to talk about, Reddit Generation 3. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but I tried to do a little bit of digging this morning. Here's the tweet from Reddit basically saying the wait is over. Gen 3 is here. We had Gen 1, Gen 2 over the summer, created a ton of buzz, a ton of hype, was interesting. So now they're coming out with Season 3. Here are a bunch of the artists who are involved. You have Penguin from Proof. That guy's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations to him. Penguin was one of the artists. PR Guitar Man, we know from Nye on Balloons. Had some of the higher priced Gen 3s out there. Tifos, Rojum, a couple of the previously successful Reddit artists all dropped new ones. In terms of a little bit of the takeaways here, one is that there were a lot more artists. They had 97 artists this time versus 32 last time. It feels like there's a little bit more liberty artistically given to the artists. Strayed a little bit from the Reddit, kind of looking really like the Reddit avatar. So that was kind of cool to see. The prices were from $5 to $100. The artists got to pick their supply and the artists got to pick their prices. Now the drop got botted. No surprise. Anytime there's money to be made, it will get botted. And it shut down the payment processor. So the whole thing was shut down for a little while. Then it went to iOS and it kind of got back to all their platforms. But a little bit of that. My view here is that we have very real proof of concept through Reddit. That people like cool avatars, that there's, Reddit has, so many users, billions of views per year or hits per year. I'm not sure the right term there, but, I think we can tell that people like this idea of avatars that represent them. And we know that because we're in NFTs and we see it. I think we have less proof of concept for real trading activity, that these guys actually want to go spend money on NFTs outside of that initial claim, really trade them. The volumes haven't stayed too high for the previous drops, even when there was a ton of hype. You can look at it though, and this is the chart that looks at total avatar holders over time. It's in the millions, something over 7 million right now. But in order to claim an avatar, all you got to do is push a couple buttons on Reddit. I think there's a very big difference here. A lot of the vast majority of these were claimed for free. I think there's a very big difference between people claiming these for free and the people who are buying them, trading them on OpenSea, trading them on whatever platform. That proof of concept, I think, is still yet to be seen. But always fun to see what you see kind of this proof of concept with the avatars going on to a different platform. Third thing to talk about is Goblins changed their NFT metadata. And this is a super interesting story in my view. Someone pinged me with this today. I saw it a couple times. What happened? Basically, if you owned a Goblin, you woke up and you saw that your metadata was now this image of someone flicking off the camera, flicking off the screen. And I'll just say what it says. It says, fuck royalties, fuck supporting builders and creators. Flipping is the heart of what makes Web3 special. Honor the flipper, long live the slow rug. That was what they changed the meta. So every single Goblin now looks like that. I thought it was a pretty kind of interesting, pretty controversial thing that if you own a lot of Goblins, this is what you woke up to. Now at the bottom, they had more text and they explained themselves. They said Goblin Town, Illuminati, Grumples will be migrating to new contracts before Monday, the 17th of April. All holders will be dropped identical replacement NFTs. Wait till after then to buy. This NFT will have no value after April 13th, 2023. So what is going on here? Goblins is basically trying to migrate to a new contract because we know that on new contracts, if you are blocking pseudo and looks rare, that OpenSea and Blur will enforce royalties. Okay, so Goblins are saying, we're not going to do this old contract where royalties are not enforced. We're going to get the new contract where they will be enforced. Now, why are they doing it? Now, if you look at this chart, a lot of people say you can't block contracts. You can't block exchanges. It doesn't work. They'll find workarounds. They very much could be right. But right now, in this moment, on April 12th, 2023, it's working pretty well. Okay, and why do I say that? If you look here at the contracts, the NFTs that have earned the most in royalties in April, this is just April month to date. in ETH terms, all these red bars are ones that currently are blocking other exchanges and are enforcing royalties. So Nakamigos, Captains, Vessels, Heavy Metal, the top 4, even though these are not the highest volume projects, these are the ones that are earning the most royalties. Other than Nakamigos might be a top volume project, but they're earning more in royalties than other side, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, some of these projects that have a lot more in volume. So Goblins are saying, we want to be part of that group, and we're going to get a new contract in order to do it. We already saw other side do it, where they switched to a new other deed contract. You can see 2 other deeds here. The smaller one's actually the one that enforces. Now, a few points on this. One is that projects cannot force burns, right? The Goblin Town holders are the ones who own the NFTs, okay? They cannot be forced to burn their NFT. Goblin Town cannot say your NFT is worthless. Well, if someone wants to buy it, it's not worthless. Like, that is owned by the holder. But what Goblin Town can do is change the metadata. And Jack Butcher has made everyone brutally aware of that. That is actually, in a lot of cases, it's not all cases, but in a lot of cases, the owner of the project can change the metadata, can change what it looks like. And if every single Goblin Town looks identical, then probably it's going to be hard for a marketplace or for the market to ascribe a lot of value to it. The other thing I said here, is that blocking exchanges until now is actually working pretty well for royalty preservation. So that surprises some people, and we'll see. Maybe something else is going to come along and try to undercut these and get rid of royalties. Who knows what's going to happen? But until now, it's actually working pretty well. But interesting strategy here. We will see. Now, in terms of how did the market react, we didn't really see a floor price adjustment yet. So if you look at the floor price for Goblins, it's basically flat. It's down a fair bit. Obviously, these things got up to 7 ETH, but it's down a fair bit from then. But over the past few days, it's actually kind of in the range of where they've been. So we didn't see an immediate negative reaction to this move. Last thing to talk about, let's talk about a few notable sales. Azuki Spirits. We're always talking about Azuki, but why? If you're going to have a 245 ETH sale, I'm going to talk about it. And this was a Spirit. Again, just Grail Azukis have just been incredibly hot lately. Now, this did not quite make it to the top 4 all-time Spirit Azuki sales. We've had 4 sales at 249 ETH or higher, but still a 245 ETH sale in this market where NFTs and PFPs have not been strong and Grails have just gotten shellacked. Just no one is spending up right now for Grails, but people still are spending up for Azuki Grails. Something unique in that community. The whales like their expensive NFTs. And we saw that there. Last thing to talk about is this piece, Talanji. Sorry, by Too Much Lag. Sorry, Too Much Lag if I got that name wrong, but really interesting piece. Sold for 7.9 ETH. Now, if you look at Too Much Lag on Twitter, came out and said, it seems Talanji has fallen under a new master. Something obscure is at play. A plan has been set in motion. So he's got some lore going on here. Interesting stuff. That was his response to the sale. Too Much Lag has had a lot of big sales. We have one here for 35, 25, 12 ETH, another one for 6 ETH. So very familiar with kind of some of these high price points. A little bit about the artist. You can see the CryptoPunk avatar that Too Much Lag uses. A female avatar. Too Much Lag is a male. Kind of like me. I got the female avatar, the female punk, but I'm a male, as you can see. Too Much Lag is a multidisciplinary artist and founder known for his fantasy and futuristic works. He explores the dichotomy between light and dark, creating an iconography that blends the dystopian and the celestial. Man, that's his bio on his website. And he's in New York City. So if you're here, maybe you can meet this guy. Here he is on Twitter saying, GM, if you see me, let's hang. Nice to see you, Too Much Lag. Cool to see you there. That's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back tomorrow and every weekday, except for the very rare times that we're not. I'm going to be staying at a hotel in New York for the rest of the time here, but I'll keep coming at you. Looking forward to more NFT content and hope to see a lot of you at NFTYC, NFT NYC. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, give us a comment, and we'll talk to you soon.